Okay, so good day, students. So welcome today to our online session. So we will be studying labor laws or labor law code of the Philippines synchronously. And you can expect that we will talk about puro articles, puro laws na kailangan yung malaman in times na kayo na yung papasok sa business, kayo na yung mag-business, or maybe one day kayo yung employed. So alam niyo yung rights and responsibilities ninyo. Okay, so let's proceed since actually these are around 140 slides and kinompress ko na lang siya to around 70 na lang. So let's only talk about those na mga I think dadaanan nyo along the way kapag gumraduate na kayo. Okay, so thank you for your time. I hope talagang makikinig kayo ngayon. So let's proceed. Okay. So ano ba ang Labor Law Code ng Philippines? It is actually in the Presidential Decree number 442. Ang Labor Code of the Philippines as amended is a decree instituting a labor code, thereby revising and consolidating labor and social laws to afford protection to labor, promote employment and human resources development, and ensure industrial peace on social justice preliminary title. So in short, ang pinoprotektahan ng ating batas, of course, are those na mga nagtatrabaho. No? So Presidential Decree number 442 is also known as Labor Code of the Philippines. Alright. So, in Article 1, doon nakalagay kung ano yung name ng decree na to. So, it's Labor Code of the Philippines. In Article 2, the date of its effectivity. So, this code took effect noong November 1, 1974. So, it was 6 months after na promulgate or na finally announced itong batas na to noong May 1, 1974. So this constitutes of statutes, regulations, and jurisprudence governing the relations between capital and labor by providing for certain standards of term and conditions of employment or providing a legal framework within which these terms and conditions and employment relationship may be negotiated, adjusted, and administered. In short, class, everything goes under agreement. Pinag-uusapan yan. So, ang ating Labor Code of the Philippines, it is divided into two parts. So, meron tayong labor standards and labor relations. Yung labor standards, this will talk about doon sa minimum conditions ng employment natin na yung mga employers dapat i-provide doon sa mga workers, which is designed para ma-assure na merong justice or merong just, humane na pagtrato doon sa mga labor natin, no? And fair treatment in the workplace. Pagdating naman sa labor relations, so in short, yung labor standard, it's all about the minimum working condition of employment. Yung labor relation naman, this talks about the right of the workers to organize themselves and negotiate with the employers. Meaning, meron silang karapatan magtayo ng union. So, again, two parts ng labor code, labor standards, and labor relations. So, dahil pinag-uusapan natin yung workers, let's enumerate the rights of the workers. So, para matandaan nyo, so OCESHLP o SESHLP. So, ito yung acronyms na kailangan nyong tandaan. So, first is O, right to organize. So, workers have the right to form, join, or assist labor organizations for collective representation. In short, meron silang karapatan magtayo ng organization or ng union. This empowers them to protect their interests and negotiate better working conditions. I remember, class, when I applied or when I worked in Laguna, there are companies which are asking, before ka pa ma-hire, magtatanong yan sila, naging member ka ba ng isang union? And once naging member ka na, of course, sinabi mo sa kanila, yes, oo, naging member ako, madi-discourage na sila na i-hire ka. In short, you are active doon sa pagwewelga, doon sa mga rights mo, doon sa organization. So, to avoid hassle, yun, hindi na sila nag-hire ng mga tao, but it is your right actually. Next, C. You have the right to conduct collective bargaining or negotiation with the management. May karapatan daw kayo na mag-form ng isang nagkakaisang bargain or nagkakaisang in Bisayak pa naamoy nagkahiusang hangyo sa inyong amo, no, or employer. So once organized unsa man ang inyong hangyo, mo na siya ang inyong bargain or ihakintahay. You want to raise your salary or benefits, you want to claim certain benefits that was not given to you, so pwede mo bargain. So once organized, workers can negotiate employers' terms like wages, benefits, hours. Example, wa mo day off. So, pwede na ninyo ilaban. So, let's see later on, unsa pa ng inyong mga rights. Right to day off, right to special holiday, ganyan. Through a collective bargaining agreement. So, mind you, there should be an agreement. Lahat ng bagay na pag-uusapan. This is what we call collective bargaining agreement. So this ensures mutual agreement between employer and employees. Okay, next is the right to engage, or E. Right to engage in peaceful, concerted activities, including strike in accordance with law. So, yun palang strike is, or magwewelga kayo, it is actually legal and it is peaceful. Dapat peaceful, in short, huwag kayong maging marahas sa pagwewelga, but it is your right na magwelga. So, workers may protest or strike peacefully to express grievances or demand changes, provided it follows legal procedures. So, this is a tool for asserting their rights when negotiations fail. Example ng mga welga na disturbing doon sa mga tao, yung binoboycott, example, kahit yung mga sasakyan, usually to sa Manila areas, yung biglang hindi sila para sa mga drivers, biglang hindi sila bubiyahe, tapos sabay-sabay sila. So, napaka-hassle yun sa mga tao. Ayan. Another thing, class, is the right to enjoy security of tenure. Meaning, enjoy security of tenure. When we say tenure, security na hindi na kayo matatanggalin sa trabaho ninyo. Baga regular na kayo, you have the right na ma-regular. Employees cannot be dismissed without just or authorized cause and due process. Pag sinabing regular ka na, hindi ka na pwedeng basta tanggalin. Pwedeng basta-basta pwedeng tanggalin. Unless, merong compensation. Yan. This protects them from arbitrary termination and ensures job stability. Moreover, H. So, right to work under humane condition. So, workers are entitled to safe, healthy, and dignified working environments. So, kung hindi makatao yung environment ng trabaho nyo, it's your right to bargain or to strike. So, pwede na rin kayong umalis doon sa trabaho ninyo. Workers are entitled to safe, healthy, and dignified working environments. This includes protection from abuse, overwork, and unsafe practices. Especially kung halimbawa hindi na makatao yung working hours. Yan. It's your right na mag-bargain doon sa employer ninyo. Next is the right to receive a living wage. Right to receive your payment or compensation. So, employees must be paid wages that meet the basic needs of their family, not just the minimum wage. So, this supports decent living standards and economic justice. So, meron tayong minimum wage per region, per commodity, I think, sa agricultural sector, sa manufacturing, I think, per area, dapat yun yung minimum wage na sinusunod ng mga employer. So, you have the right to receive a living wage, which is lawful. Next is the right to participate in policy and decision-making process. So, workers have the right to be involved in decisions that affect their rights and welfare, especially through representation in labor councils. That is why there are meetings na kumukuha sila ng representation per department or meron sa mga empleyado for them to hear your side. And then, tripartite bodies or workplace committees. So, yun ang ating 7 na mga rights. So, there are also related laws which you can refer to or you can read, especially when you will be needing someday this information. You can still refer to this information. So, not just someday, of course, a quiz, but usually kasi, yung mga PowerPoints, yung mga natutunan ko in my back then sa aking college and sa aking masteral degree, kompleto yan sa akin nakasave. So, pag hinahanap ko, pag kailangan ko, ayun, I still have them. So, you can refer to the Civil Code, so the Articles 1700 and 1701 and 003. You also have the Revised Penal Code, Article 283, Section 3. So, there are also other related laws, such as the SSS law, okay, receive, benefits yan ng mga empleyado. GSIS, Agrarian Reform Law, the 13-month pay law, the Magna Carta for the public health workers, and etc. Ang rationale natin, in short, labor laws are based on the police power of the state to protect workers and promote social justice. So, when we say police power, ano ba yung, just to give you an overview, ano ba yung police power of the state? So, the government has 3 powers na wala na siya sa law, hindi na siya kailangang isulat pa, pero eminent na tong mga nabatas na to, kumbaga automatic na tong mga laws na to. The 3 inherent powers of the state, first is the eminent domain. Meaning, ito yung right ng state na kumuha ng private property, provided na meron, of course, na just compensation. Pero in reality, usually, yung just na compensation, mas mababa, no, sa actual price niya. But it is the right of the state na, halimbawa, yung right of way, halimbawa, bumili ka ng lupa, tapos walang daan, doon papunta sa kabilang lupa. Yung tao na nakabili naman sa kabilang lupa, meron siyang right to claim road right of way. Meaning, kailangan mong mag-adjust. So, yung iba, ginagawa nila, sige, dahil wala akong choice, kailangan kong bawasan yung lupa ko, hihiwa ko ng unti sa akin, magdidemand din siya na yung kabilang may-ari ng lupa, mahiwaan din. So, that is one power of the state. Next is the taxation. So, itong taxation, this is power of the state to impose and collect taxes from the people in order to raise, of course, revenue para sa government and expenses and services para sa government support and operations. So, itong mga taxes na to, yung pinagagalingan natin ng fund para panggawa ng mga kalsada, ng mga building dito sa ating mga local government units. Moreover, ito yung nagsusupply doon sa pag nagpunta ka sa ospital, bakit libre? O, ayan, ito yung mga funds na to. Next is, and lastly, the police power. Wherein, ito yung power ng state dito sa labor code. This is the power of the state to regulate the use of liberty and property to promote general welfare, public health safety, and moral of the people. Example, halimbawa, magpapatupad ng quarantine dahil nag-COVID-19. Or zoning laws, residential versus industrial areas. Natural na pwede siyang biglang magpatupad ng batas with regards na dito sa mga areas na to, this is only for industrial areas, meaning, example, sa Baybay, from there dun sa Maybog, papunta dun sa Marcos to Maybog, you can observe na yun yung mga areas na yun kung saan merong mga companies because that is the industrial areas of Baybay. So, yung mga residential areas are the areas papunta dito sa south. So, laws requiring the use of helmets and seatbelts. This is an inherent power of the state na pwede siyang mag-demand or merong magmulta siya kapag halimbawa wala kang helmet because this is for the safety and general welfare of the community. Okay, so much for that. So let's proceed to article number 3. Don't worry, we will not go through dun sa lahat ng articles. We have just selected few. So article 3, this is the declaration of basic policy. So ito yung sa labor code. Ito yung basic policy ng labor code. So the state shall afford protection to labor, promote full employment. This is the reason bakit merong labor code. Ensure equal work opportunities regardless of sex, race, or creed, and regulate the relations between workers and employers. So the state shall assure the right of workers to self-organization, collective bargaining, security of tenure, and just and humane conditions of work. Again, these are the rights of workers. So let's define employer. The employer, ito yung tao na nag-e-employ ng mga employees. One who employs the services of others, one for whom employees work and who pays their wages and salaries. Pag sinabi mo namang employee, of course, this is the one who works for the employer and the person working for the salary or wage. So in article number 4, this is the construction in favor of labor. Meaning class, when there is doubt, the law is in favor rather of the labor. Kumbaga dun sa mga trabahante or the workers. So all doubts in implementation and interpretation of the provisions of this code, including its implementing rules and regulations, shall be resolved in favor of labor. So this is with a view para ma-apply ang code to the greater number of employees para ma-enable sila na maka-avail ng mga benefits under the law. So the working man's welfare should be the primordial consideration. Meaning, ang working man natin na welfare ng working man or men ang primary consideration ng batas. And this rule is applicable if there is a doubt. Merong pagdududa or merong uncertainty doon sa situation or pinaglalaban ng both parties as to the meaning of the legal or contractual provision. Pero if may provision na clear, klaro na klaro doon sa agreement, so hindi ambiguous, hindi malabo, klaro ang agreement, so it must be applied in accordance with its express terms. Kung ano yung pinag-usapan nyo, pinag-agrihan nyo, pinirmahan nyo, of course, that will be implemented. Okay. So, may prerogative to. So, if that will be the case for the employees, so ano naman yung prerogative sa management? Except as limited by special laws, an employer is free to regulate according to his own discretion and judgment all aspects of employment, including yung hiring, working assignments, yung working methods, kung paano nila tatrabahuhin yung mga projects, time, place, and manner of work, tools to be used, yung mga process na kailangan i-follow, yung supervision, yung regulation, yung pag-transfer ng employee, yung pag-supervise, yung pagtatanggal ng mga workers, pati yung mga disiplina, yung policy, paano tatanggalin yung isang worker or paano ibabalik yung mga workers, depende na yan sa management. So, kaya tayo may tinatawag na contract. Okay, so long as management prerogative are exercised in good faith for the advancement of the employer's interest and not for the purpose of defeating or circumventing the rights of the employee under special law or under valid agreements, it shall be upheld. So, meaning, kung in good faith naman yung agreement, hindi naman siya kumbaga hindi nakakatapak dun sa rights ng mga employees. So, of course, kung ano yung agreement, that will be the right of the management, no, na mapatupad. So, yun kumbaga yung right ni manager. Okay, so let's proceed. Management rights. If may right si worker, ano naman yung right ni manager or ng management? First is the right to conduct business. Employers have the freedom to operate and manage their business as they see fit. So this includes decision about anong product or services yung i-offer nila, asa nila ilalagay yung negosyo nila, or papaano nila i-structure yung operation, ano yung flow. So, or magde-decide ba siya na magpa-branch or hindi. So that will be upon the decision making of the management. They also have the right to prescribe rules. So, meron tayong acronyms dito for you to remember: CPST, right to conduct business, right to prescribe rules, ang P. Employers can set rules and policies for employees to follow. Especially when it is signed, of course, that will be implemented. So, these rules may cover, of course, the attendance and punctuality. Yung mga rules na to, it's okay hanggat yung mga rules na to hindi naman labag sa makataong batas. Sa batas makatao, no? O dun sa rules or sa policy. Okay, dress code, pwede rin niyang i-prescribe. Use of company property, of course, that's the property of the company, so they have the right kung paano yun gamitin. They have the say. Workplace behavior. So, a company may implement a no cell phone during work hours policy. So, I remember noong nag-work ako sa isang company, sa isang department doon sa company namin, since sensitive yung mga parts, no, ng sasakyan in terms, yung anong part yun, mga sensor. So, bawal pumasok sa trabaho na may makeup, bawal magkolbo, kahit anong makeup, bawal. So, bago pumasok dun sa company, merong wash station, maghuhugas ka ng kamay, maghihilamos ka, then gloves, kompleto ng PPE or the protective equipment, no? Personal protective equipment. So, these are the management rights. So, let's proceed to the right to select employee. So, of course, employer, may right pumili kung sino yung pipiliin nilang trabahante. They also have the right to transfer or discharge employees. So, if kaya nga tayo meron kontrata, no? So, this is stated there, kailan magiging pwede na paalisin ni employer si employee. Dahil may karapatan din, of course, si management tumanggi doon sa serbisyo ni employee kung hindi siya na sisiyahan sa work ethics ng tao. So, employers can transfer, reassign, or terminate employees provided it is done in good faith and with just cause. Kumbaga, hindi naman para masira yung tao, but just then, like meaning, merong saktong dahilan. So, transfer must not be done to harass or punish employees. Termination must follow due to process and be based on valid reason. So, dapat may due process. Kumbaga, kung ano yung nararapat na proseso sa pag-investigate, process ng batas, process ng kaso, so dapat yun ang masunod. An employee may be transferred to another department due to restructuring. Halimbawa, napunta siya sa kabilang. Halimbawa, yung in-applyan ko is as admin staff. Tapos napunta ako dun sa finance, depende. So, may rights sila doon. Okay, so the rules and regulations. Ngayon, sa Article 5, it states here na ang Labor, Department DOLE, they are the ones in charge with the labor and employment sa Philippines. So, they are charged with administration and enforcement of this code and shall promulgate the necessary implementing rules. Such rules and regulations shall become effective 15 days after announcement of their adoption in newspaper or general circulation. Halimbawa, merong bagong rules si DOLE, that will be effective after 15 days na ma-announce ang finality ng batas na to. Okay. Book 1, Pre-Employment. Title 1, Recruitment and Placement of Workers. In this chapter, we will be discussing about the general professions. So, let's take a look. By definition, ano ba yung workers? Yung workers are any members of the labor force, whether employed or unemployed. So, meron tayong tinatawag na yung employment mo ay may employee-employer relationship, therefore you are employed. If there is none, employer-employee relationship, so you're not employed. It could be a part-time job only. When we say recruitment and placement, this refers to the act of canvassing, enlisting, contracting, and transporting, utilizing, hiring, or procuring workers, and includes referrals, contract services, promising or advertising for employment, locally or abroad, whether for a profit or not, provided that any person or entity which any manner offers a promise for a fee. Employment or two or more persons shall be deemed engaged in recruitment and placement. In other words, when we say recruitment and placement, this is a group of people or agency or person who is engaged doon sa pagkuha ng tao para ma-connect ang employer sa isang potential employee. Meaning, ikaw yung agency. No? So, pag sinabi namang private fee charging employment agency, this is an entity or person which is engaged in the recruitment and placement of workers, which is charged or directly or indirectly from workers or employers or both. Meaning, pag sumuweldo ka, either ako na nag-connect sa inyong dalawa, pwedeng doon ako sa employer mo manghingi ng placement or ng something na fee for my effort of getting the employer an employee, para matulungan ko siya makahanap ng tao. Or pwede rin ako na agency, doon ako kukuha ng fee doon sa sweldo or fee. Hindi pala fee sa sweldo. Like, sa kanya kukuha ng fee na one-time fee doon sa tao na nakuhaanan ko ng trabaho. Pag sinabi namang license, ito yung binibigay ng Department of Labor and Employment sa akin or sa akin na entity or sa akin na person para mag-operate as an agency that connects the employer to possible employee. Private recruitment entity, this is any person or association which is engaged in the recruitment. Bawa ako, I could be an entity or a person only. So, pag sinabi mo namang direct hiring, it means walang entity na nagko-connect. So, you are hiring directly, in short, walang taong nakaka-commission. Or, walang agency na nagiging daan para ma-connect yung both. Because there are also agencies na authorized agencies that connect na walang payment, like ang POEA, like walang charge, like POEA and DOLE. Why is direct hiring prohibited? So, meron tayong ban on direct hiring ng foreign nationals sa Filipinos. Dapat dumaan talaga siya sa isang agency. This is, of course, para maiwasan yung abuse, yung exploitation, meaning sobrang laki ng effort kasi konti lang yung bayad, and of course, unfair treatment. This will help the government para ma-oversight kayo, which is essential for protecting Filipino people or Filipino workers. Because this may result itong direct hiring into poor working condition, low pay, or possible lack of legal protection. So, pero may exception tayo sa rule. Sino tong mga to? Yung mga members of the diplomatic corporations like embassies, international organizations, or the organizations na approved ng Department of Labor and Employment. So, basically, bawal to yung direct hiring para ma-protect ang Filipino people. And of course, the employer. Baka hindi mo kasi siya mabigyan ng trabahante na may skill. Okay? So, however, if you are a Filipino national, na doon ka nag-work abroad, there are mandatory remittances na kailangan mong gawin sa iyong earnings sa Philippines because everything will be declared dapat taxes mo dahil mayroong part government. Okay, for the seamen or mariners, at least 80% of the basic salary must be remitted dito sa Philippines. So, kung asawa ka ng seaman na yan, sa 500,000, may 400,000 ka na, 80%. Workers of Filipino contractors and construction companies, and doctors, engineers, teachers, nurses, and other professionals whose employment contract provide for lodging facilities are 70% of the basic salary kailangan marinig sa Pilipinas. All other professionals without board and lodging, yung mga domestic and other service workers, 50% of their basic salary must also be remitted. Okay, let's talk about private private sector participation in the recruitment and placement of workers. May qualification if you want to be part of these agencies na nagko-connect. First, dapat Filipino citizen, partnership or corporation, at least 75% of the authorized and voting capital which are owned and controlled by Filipinos. Kasi syempre, protection yung sa mga Pilipino, baka nag-hire ka ng mga Pilipino pagkatapos, ano pala yun, way of exploiting Filipino laborers pala yun. Dahil mura yung ating laborers dito ng foreign national. So, dapat 75% owned by Filipinos din. Minimum capital, 1 million kung single proprietorship or partnership, or minimum 1 million capital pa rin para sa mga corporations. So, those not otherwise disqualified by law or these guidelines to engage in the recruitment and placement of workers for overseas employment. Okay. So, let's proceed to the disqualification. Number 1 na disqualified ka, hindi ka pwedeng maging part ng recruitment or placement of workers or agencies in connecting employer-employee if related ka sa mga travel agencies. Halimbawa, member ka ng board ng isang travel agency or kasali ka sa partnership ng corporation ng isang travel agency or mayroon kang pangit na records before about human trafficking or anything else na derogatory records. Person employed in the DOLE. Hindi rin pwede. Kung directly involved ka sa overseas employment program or relative ka of such within 4th degree or consanguinity or affinity. Hindi pwede related up to 4th degree. Anak ng anak mo. Bawal. So, those whose license has been previously cancelled or revoked. Bawal ka rin. Okay? So, kapag lumabag ka dyan, the penalty could be as low as 100, a fine, the penalty of life imprisonment ang pwede, and a fine of not more than 100,000 pesos shall be imposed of illegal recruitment which constitutes economic sabotage as defined herein. Alright, kung halimbawa, license holder ka, kasi hindi ka naman pwedeng maging agency kung wala kang lisensya, bibigyan ka ng license ni DOLE, kumbaga bibigyan ka niya ng permission na pwede kang mag-engage into recruitment and placement agencies. So, you will receive a license. If not, kung wala kang license, iba din yung penalty, mas mahal. So, pag may license ka, not less than 2 years, yung imprisonment, but not more than 5 years. So, 2 to 5 years. If, tapos yung penalty mo, yung fine mo, ay hindi bababa ng 10,000 at hindi tataas ng 50,000. Pag wala kang lisensya naman, any violation, kung wala kang lisensya, 20,000 to 100,000 yung kailangan, yung fine mo, at yan yung fine mo, at hindi bababa ng 4 years to 8 years. No? Hindi tataas ng 8 years. 4 to 8 years. Yung possible na penalty. So if the offender is a corporation, partnership, association, entity, the penalty shall be imposed doon sa officer or officers ng corporation. And if such officer is an alien, halimbawa ay hindi siya Filipino, he shall be deported sa kanilang country. Yan. In every case, yung condition shall cause and carry the automatic revocation ng license. Automatic kung may lisensya ka, tatanggalan ka ng lisensya. Alright, so let's now proceed to employment of non-residents na alien. So kanina, we are talking here in the Philippines. Ngayon, we will be talking about non-resident na aliens. Kumbaga, mga foreign national na non-residents dito yung iyong gustong i-hire. Foreigners or domestic and foreign employers desiring to employ aliens, foreigners or domestic and foreign employers desiring to employ aliens must secure an employment permit or alien employment permit from DOLE upon determination of the non-availability of a person in the Philippines who is competent. Meaning, kung ikaw nandito sa Pilipinas, gusto mong mag-hire ng foreign national dito sa Pilipinas, kailangan mo patunayan na wala kang makitang ganong klaseng or ganong skills na kailangan mo among Filipino people. This law is of course to protect those Filipino nationals na pwedeng sila naman sana ibigyan mo ng trabaho, but kailangan mo pang kumuha at bumagbigay ng trabaho doon sa mga hindi Filipinos or sa mga foreigners kung merong capable naman sa Philippines. Okay. So, foreigners may not be employed in certain nationalized business. A non-resident alien worker and the employer shall bind themselves to train at least 2 Filipino understudies. If ever magkaroon ka naman ng non-resident na alien na employee, kailangan may matrain siya na at least 2 Filipino doon sa kanyang trabaho, na if ever na mawala siya, meron kang pwedeng ipalit na 2 Pilipino na hindi mo nakakailanganin ng foreign nationals. So, ganyan ang ating labor code ng Philippines, nagpo-protect sa ating mga Filipinos. We also have a law which is against employment of aliens, prohibitions against employment of aliens. In Section 2A of the Anti-Dummy Law, which prohibits the employment of aliens in the establishment or entities which have under their name or control a right, franchise, privilege, property, or business, the exercise or enjoyment of which property or business, the exercise or enjoyment of which is expressly reserved by the Constitution or the law to the citizens of the Philippines or to the corporations or associations, at least 60% of the capital of which is owned by the citizens. So in short class, meaning class, if ang isang company is owned by Filipino, 60% doon sa kanyang stocks, 40% lang yung stocks ng foreign national, hindi pwedeng mag-hire yung company ng more than 40% na foreign nationals. Okay? So, may exception pa rin doon sa law na to. So, the exceptions are, if the Secretary of Justice specifically authorizes the employment of technical or personnel, where the aliens are elected members of the board of directors or governing bodies of corporations or associations in proportion to their allowable participation in the capital of such entities. Okay? It's either inauthorize naman pala siya, okay lang. Or, yung elected member of the board, kung magpasok pa rin yung number of board members, baga kung 40%, tapos mag-hire ako ng another alien, okay lang, basta within 40% lang din ng workers. Hindi ako pwedeng lumampas doon, if that is the proportion doon sa board members. Okay, so, let's now proceed to the National Manpower Development Program or the National Policies and Administrative Machinery for their implementation. Definition, ano ba yung manpower? This is the portion doon sa nation's population which has actual or potential capability na mag-contribute directly doon sa production ng goods and services. Yung entrepreneurship naman, this is training individuals for self-employment or assisting individuals or small industries with the purview of this sa labor code. Ngayon class, when we say entrepreneurship, this sa labor code, ito yung pag-help doon sa individuals na maging self-employed. Di ba? You can read doon sa mga occupation na self-employed, meaning doon you are into business, meaning you are employed, self-employed. You are employed by your own. Kasi may negosyo ka. Or supporting small businesses and micro-enterprises. So this includes class yung mga skill skills training, business planning, financial literacy, and of course, access to capital or livelihood support. Itong support na to ng government sa entrepreneurship, of course, this is to reduce unemployment and ma-promote yung ating self-reliance by encouraging people to start their own businesses instead of relying solely doon sa ating employment lang. Okay, so meron tayong tatlong special type of workers. Una, yung ating apprentice. Ikalawa, learners. Ikatlo, handicap. Okay? Itong tatlong to na special type of workers, meron silang special agreement, kumbaga special contract. Di ba, pag nagtrabaho kayo, employed kayo. Yung employment, meaning meron kayong employee-employer relationship. Meaning, in certain time, required si employer na irregular ka hanggang ma-regular ka na. Entitled ka sa mga benefits. Pero pag sinabing ng employee-employer relationship, it's just like the organization has just paid you for a specific project, for a specific duration. Wala kayong employer-employee relationship. And if you agreed to that, so, hindi siya entitled magbayad sa'yo ng mga benefits. Kasi wala kayong employer-employee relationship. Kumbaga, sa no employer-employee relationship, other term for that is job order. Meaning, you are selling service. You are self-employed. You are not employed. Okay? Yun yung difference. Ngayon, class, sa mga employed or papuntang employment, merong special workers. Una, yung apprentice, ito yung mga tao na before sila maging officially employed sa isang trabaho, they undergo a specific training or they undergo a specific training. Itong specific training na to could be given with lower wage or lower na salary. You can say na si employer kasi para maprotektahan yung trabahante na maabuso din ng employer for a lower wage, meron tayong agreement. Si employer, hindi rin pwedeng masabi ni employee na hire ng apprentice para mapababa or mas maliit yung gastos niya doon sa bayad kasi of course si employer, meron siyang gasto doon sa or meron siyang cost doon sa training noong individual. At yung productivity niya, of course, lower. That is why mas mababa yung sweldo. Pero dahil to protect both sides, meron tayong agreement. Of course, because both sides, merong advantage may disadvantage. That's the purpose of that agreement. Ngayon, itong mga tinatawag na apprentice, na within that duration of training, apprentice ka kapag kasama ka doon sa listahan ng mga skilled workers doon sa government na listahan. Pero if you do not belong to that category, but you are still under training, including your wage pay, learners ang tawag sa'yo. Okay? So, let's dig into that. Ang apprentice class, by definition, this is the practical training on the job supplemented by related theoretical instruction. So, apprentice ka, ang tawag sa'yo, if you are a worker who is covered by a written apprenticeship agreement with an individual employer or any of these entities recognized under this chapter. So, meaning, hindi ka apprentice if hindi ka under these categories. Yun yung sinasabi ko na learner yung industry. Ang apprenticeable occupation, ito lang yung mga form of employment or occupation which requires more than 3 months of practical training or on the job supplemented by theoretical instruction. Okay? Meaning class, hindi kayang basta-basta matutunan yung specific skill within 3 months. Meaning, ito yung mga special jobs na lista sa listahan na government na kailangan ng more than 3 months ang practical training. Bakit may ganito tayo na klase ng agreement? Kasi of course, pwedeng sabihin ni employer, oops, wala ka pang skill sa specific job na yan. So I'll be giving you lower pay. That's why the government have set standards and rule gaano lang katagal dapat pwede mabilong ang isang klaseng trabaho sa ganyan kababang sweldo. So for apprenticeable occupation, pwedeng yung stage na training ka, on the job training, hindi pwedeng mag more than 6 months. Pero kapag learners ka, not more than 3 months. So mas mababa. Okay. So ang apprenticeship agreement, ito yung employment contract ninyo or agreement which is approved by DOLE wherein the employer binds himself to train the apprentice and the apprentice in turn accept the terms of training. So kung ano yung terms doon at in your advantage also, meron ka ng training. It could be one of your assets, your skills. Yung training na pin-provide ni employer. Okay? Kasi Kasi may cost din yon. Yung duration ng apprenticeship is not more than 6 months dapat. Exact start and end dates of apprenticeship dapat exact. Wage rate, at least 75% of the applicable minimum wage except OJT. Yung mga on-the-job training kasi, they are affiliated with schools, di ba? Therefore, hindi sila kasali dun sa apprenticeship. Kasi yung apprenticeship, ang ina-applyan talaga ng apprenticeship is talagang trabaho. Yung on-the-job training is only because of the school. And afterwards, they could continue, bigyan pa sila ng opportunity, but they may not. So, wage rate may be lower than a minimum wage only if part of a DOLE-approved program. Yan. For qualifications ng apprenticeship, dapat at least 15 years of age, provided na those who are at least 15 years of age but less than 18 may be eligible for apprenticeship only in non-hazardous occupation. So, bawal yung mga trabahong pang radioactives. And the apprenticeship agreement shall be assigned. Baka sa nuclear power plant i-hire. Shall not be assigned in behalf by the parent or guardian or authorized representative of DOLE. Kailangan meron kayong consent. Okay, requisites for tax deductions in case employers have apprenticeship programs. Ayan. In terms of tax deduction, program duly recognized by the Department of Labor, so dapat approved. Deduction shall not exceed 10% of the direct labor wage. Okay, his apprenticeship minimum wage, so pwede kang mag-deduct ng tax kung nagbabayad ka ng minimum wage. Kung mas mababa sa minimum wage yung binabayad mo, hindi ka pwede mag-employ ng tax. Okay, apprentices who may be hired without compensation. So, those training on the job which is required by the school. Ito lang yung pwedeng apprenticeship program na walang bayad ha. Yung training program curriculum. Yung requisite ng graduation. Or a requisite for board examination. Ay, yun lang. Other than that, dapat may bayad. Okay, so for the learners, these are those training na hindi under ng listahan ng apprenticeship. Dahil ito yung mga training na hindi nangangailangan ng at least 6 months para matutunan. So, persons hired as trainees in semi-skilled and other industrial occupations which are non-apprenticeable and which may be learned through practical training on the job in a related short period of time which shall not exceed 3 months are called learners. Okay, so yung mga occupations class na under dito sa ating mga apprenticeship ay yung mga occupations na under sa automotive and land transportation. So you can see doon sa PowerPoint, nasa sa notes ng slide 38. So nandyan yung mga listahan ng mga apprenticeable occupations. So other than this list, kung gusto nyong mag-employ or kailangan mag-employ ng learner program para lower ang wage nababayaran ng isang organization, dapat not more than 3 months. No? So dapat wala siya dito kung gusto nyo mag-employ ng ganung rate ng mga training doon sa empleyado. Kumbaga magtatrabaho siya sa inyo pero trainee pa siya. Pero pag wala sa field na to, ayun, learner siya. So if learner siya, hindi siya kasali dito sa mga apprenticeable occupations which are under automotive, itong automotive body parts, auto engine rebuilding, motorcycle, NC2, NC2 and NC3, driving and passenger articulated vehicle, automotive electrical assembly ng NC2, foundry melting or casting. Sa agriculture naman, yung grains production, NC2, sugarcane production, NC2 ng TESDA, aquaculture, tilapia culture, animal production, poultry, swine, and ruminants yan, organic agriculture production, NC2, bookkeeping, NC2, bamboo processing, NC2, healthcare services, NC2, caregiving, NC2, dressmaking, NC2, ha? Ano yan, sa garments and crafts. Kasama yung handicrafts production. Sa IT, Information and Communication Technology, apprenticeable din tong computer system servicing, NC2, animation. Sa construction and engineering, yung masonry, carpentry, electrical installation and maintenance, and welding. In short, if you are under these industries, if you are the entrepreneurs under this industry, you may employ apprenticeship program doon sa mga bago nyong empleyado. No? So, let's now proceed to the next, wage rate. So, ang wage rate, at least 75% of the applicable minimum wage. Ito yung policy sa mga learners. Learners in piece rate jobs must be paid in full for work done. No, yung mga piece rate na trabaho, hindi pwedeng sabihin na, learner ka pa, pero sa iba, per piece. Sa'yo, mas mababa, hindi pwede. Basta mga piece rate yung trabaho, mga per piece yung bayad, per product, dapat mabayaran siya in full, hindi lang basta 75%. Yung employer's commitment, ito yung promise to hire the learner as a regular employee upon successful completion of a training if the learner so desires. Dapat, after, so kasama to sa kasama to sa agreement, kasama to sa contract. Dapat, after nung training, dapat may guarantee si laborer or si worker na ma-hire siya kapag successful yung completion ng training. Pero may possible termination clause, which is if the employer terminates the training within the first 2 months without fault of the learner, dapat yung learner automatically is deemed regular employee. If without fault. Yan. So, meron pa rin possible na mga si worker. Favor. Signatures and approval. Ayan. If the learner is a minor, the agreement must be signed with the parents or guardian consent. Since pwede ka maging learner ng 15 years old ka. But this is subject to DOLE inspection and approval. Okay, let's now proceed to handicapped worker. Yung mga may kapansanan. So, sa mga may kapansanan, ano ba yung handicapped worker? Ito yung mga tao whose earning capacity is impaired. It could be by age, physical, or mental deficiency or injury. Subject to the provisions of the code, ang handicapped worker may be hired as regular workers, apprentices, or learners then, if their handicap is not such as to effectively impede the operation or the performance of the job. Kumbaga, hindi mismo makakasagabal doon sa trabaho in the particular operations for which they were hired. Kung halimbawa, you are hired to do computer work pero bulag ka, hindi pwede. Okay? So, however, if pareho sa community engagement ng Happy Toothpaste, they are employing deaf yung mga bingi. So, kaya naman gumalaw ng kanilang kamay sa tinuturuan ni Pedro Cecilio ng Braille yung mga employee, and then afterwards, hinahire niya. So, pwede naman gumalaw yung mga kamay nila para makapag-produce ng toothpaste or ng mga product ng Lamoyan Corporation, which are DAS. Yan, madami yun. So, napakaganda ng kanilang advocate. Handicapped workers are qualified disabled employees shall be subject to the same terms and conditions of employment and the same compensation, privileges, benefits, fringe benefits, incentives, or allowances as a qualified able-bodied. So, walang discrimination. Even a handicapped worker can acquire the status of a regular employee. Ang duration ng employment, of course, same lang din. No minimum, no maximum. Pero depende yan sa agreement, but it's necessary that there is a specific duration doon sa inyong agreement. Okay, now let's proceed to the 3 conditions of employment. Working conditions, rest periods, working hours. So let's discuss about this. Yung elements ng employer-employee relationship, yan. This is the one I have talked about a while ago. Selection and engagement of employees. So you have undergone the selection. So you have the right to choose kay employee. Sa employer, rather. The payment of wages. And so this is an element. Of course, dapat may bayad. And the power of dismissal. So, pwedeng i-terminate if ever may fault. The employer's power to control the employee with respect to the means and methods by which the work is to be accomplished. So, take note, by which the work is to be accomplished. It is all about work, So, the last element as mentioned above is what is known the control test. So, whether the employer controls or has reserved the right to control the employee not only as to the result of the work to be done, but also to the means and the methods by which the same is to be accomplished. Kung paano gawin, anong dapat gawin, ano yung proseso ng pagkakagawa, this is the right of the employer. This last element is the most important index of existence of the relationship. So, which is the means and methods by which this work has to be accomplished. Yan. So, nasa karapatan niya ng employer. So, sino naman yung employee? Ito yung natural person who is hired directly or indirectly by a natural or juridical person to perform certain activities which are related to the business or of the hirer. So, nandun na yun sa problema ni hirer kung ano yung kailangan niyang masulban. Who directly or through an agent supervises or controls the work performance and pays the salary or wage of the hire. So, it could be, halimbawa, ikaw si employer, nag-hire ka ng isang agency, doon ka magbabayad, siya yung magbabayad doon sa iyong empleyado. Okay. So, employees exempt from the benefits of employer-employee relationship. Sino yung mga exempted doon? Mga government employees. Yan, exempted. So, depende yan sa policy dun sa ng institution. Yung mga managerial employees. Depende yan sa agreement. So, employer-employee relationship, ito yung contract wherein you are employed. After how many months you are entitled to be a regular employee. Yung mga field personnel, project-based. Family members dependent on the employer for support. Yan, of course. Domestic helpers, kasi per project lang yan, per contract ka lang, ilang years lang. Person on the personal service of another and workers paid by result or by contract per project. So, exempted yan sa employer-employee relationship. Yung mga government employees by definition refers to the people working at the agency sa gobyerno, of course. Political subdivisions and of government corporations that are not incorporated under the corporation code, meaning those which have original charters sa government. Of course, alam niyo na yan. Managerial employees, ito yung mga tao who primarily duty consists of management of the establishment in which they are employed of a department or subdivision thereof, and to other members of the managerial staff. So note, definition applies only to the 8-hour labor law. Later on, we will discuss about the 8-hour labor law. Domestic helpers, ito naman yung mga tao, yun yung 8-hour labor law, yun yung which relates to the employer-employee relationship, which are exempted sila. So domestic helpers, ito yung tao na rendering personal services abroad. Employers perform services in the employer's home which are usually necessary and desirable for maintaining enjoyment thereof. So the existence of employment relationship is determined by the law and not by the contract. Yan, mga exempted. Whether or not an employer-employee relationship exists between the parties is a question of fact. The findings of this NLRC are accorded not only respect but in finality is supported by substantial evidence. Okay. Kahit walang employer-employee relationship, halimbawa yung contract nyo, nilagyan nyo ng employer-employee relationship, yun, internal. Pero generally, walang employer-employee relationship, hindi ka pwede mag-demand. But in the end, kung ano yung makita na findings ng National Labor Relations Commission, take note ha yung meaning, National Labor Relations Commission, yun yung supported of course with substantial evidence, yun yung pinaka-respect natin na finality ng judge or ng korte. Okay? So, another is the management prerogative. Ano yung prerogative ng management in this? Except as otherwise limited by the special laws, unless otherwise limited ng special law. Ang isang employer is free to regulate. So, meron talaga siyang karapatan mag-regulate according to his own discretion and judgment. Kaya nga tayo may kontrata eh. All aspects of employment, including hiring, working assignment, yung mga pinag-usapan natin kanina na management prerogative, time, place, manner of work, tools to be used, process, supervision of workers, working regulations, transfers of employees, work supervision, layoff of workers, discipline, dismissal, and recall of workers. Lahat yan, merong right si employer. No? So, management prerogative recognizes the right of the employer to advance its interest to prescribe standards of work. Siyempre, may karapatan siyang mag-require ng standards and mag-impose ng reasonable quotas kasi siyempre siya yung magbabayad, di ba? Or work assignments. And failure on the part of the employers to meet these requirements imposed in good faith constitutes a just cause for his dismissal. So, right ito ni management. New owner or management group has no obligation to re-employ workers who freely and voluntarily accepted their separation pay and other benefits. Ha? Take note. They have no obligations to re-employ. Kasi tinanggap mo na nga yung separation pay mo. A change of ownership in a business concerns is not prescribed by the law. Purpose ng normal 8 hours na regular working days. This is to safeguard the health and welfare of the laborers na hindi naman sobrahan ng employer. Yung trabaho niya, 16 hours straight. To minimize unemployment by utilizing different shifts. Okay. Meaning, 24 hours a day was divided into 8. Para meron tayong 8 shifts. So, pwede kang mag-hire ng different set of employees for that shift. So, meron tayong 8-hour na regular working hours. So, pwedeng dito dapat mo i-base or dapat dito mo i-base yung iyong salary para dun sa iyong mga tao. So, the regular working days of covered employees shall not be more than, ito yung general, shall not be more than 5 days in a work week. So, the work week may begin at any hour on any day, including Saturday or Sunday, basta 5 days a week, designated by the employer. All times during which an employee is required to be on duty or to be at a prescribed workplace, and all times during which an employee is suffered or permitted to work. Ito yung kasama siya sa 8 hours, no? If the work performed was necessary or it benefited the employer or the employee could not abandon his work at the end of his working hours because he had no replacement, all time spent for such work shall be considered as hours worked if the work is with the knowledge of his employer or immediate supervisor. So, dapat bayad siya. The time during which an employee is inactive by reasons or interruptions in his work beyond his control shall be considered time either if the eminence of the resumption of work requires the employee's presence at the place of work or if the interval is too brief to be utilized effectively and gainfully in the employee's own interest. So, kung unti na lang yung interval or it's too brief, if in other words, if ever nakasama dun sa operating process yung brief time na waiting hours, halimbawa hindi naman yung kasalanan ng employee na mag-lax siya, kung kasama talaga siya sa operation or there is mga brief lang na mga moments na wala siyang ginagawa, dapat bayad pa rin yun in short. Dapat it is still provided na it's favorable sa employee's own interest at hindi naman niya kasalanan na wala siyang ginagawa during those hours. Especially kung may iksi or maliliit lang naman yung hours na wala siyang ginagawa. Kasama talaga yun sa operating process na merong downtime. So, only the maximum is prescribed but not the minimum. So, part-time work is therefore not prohibited. Hindi pa rin bawal. Okay. When waiting time is an integral part of the job, it is compensable. Dapat bayad ha kung kasama yung waiting time. Doon sa job, kung baga kasama siya sa operation. However, waiting time to be engaged, ito naman yung idle time that is not working time. This is not compensable. Walang bayad itong mga panahon na not working time. You're waiting lang to be engaged. Kano sa ka magkakatrabaho, kano sa katawagin. O yan. Hindi daw yan kasama sa dapat bayaran. Okay, next. Let's proceed. Okay. Sa 8 hours work, it shall include travel from home to work. This refers to ordinary work travel, but when worker is made to work on an emergency call and travel is necessary in proceeding to the workplace. The time spent on travel is compensable. O, dapat bayadin daw yung travel from home to work, which refers to the ordinary work travel. Kung halimbawa, ako yung trabaho ko, kasama yung travel, halimbawa ako ay, example, enumerator. Okay, so you are surveying. Of course, kasama yung travel time mo. Doon sa bayad. Mahirap naman kung yung ginagawa mo is para sa trabaho tapos hindi ka bayad dun sa oras na yun. So travel that is in all the day's work time spent by an employee is travel as part of the principal activity, such as travel from the job site to the job site during the work day, must be counted as hours work. Okay. Moreover, sa meal periods naman, meal period should not be less than 60 minutes. Yun yung 11 to 12. Diba? If you count it, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 9 hours. Yung 8 hours kasi doon, working hour mo. Yung 1 hour niyan, dapat not less than, ang standard, not less than 60 minutes. 60 minutes yung lunch break, your meal break, and is off and non-compensable. Kung yun yung walang bayad. Under specified cases, it could be less than 60 minutes, but should not be less than 20 minutes. So, it could be less than 60 minutes, pero 40 minutes lang yung lunch job, but hindi naman sobrang mababa. Nakaranas ako magtrabaho yan dati, na yung lunch break namin is only 20 minutes. Yung pala, yun yung hinakasagad. So, if less than 20 minutes, pero right naman nila yun to demand that nasa batas naman siya. If less than 20 minutes, so it becomes only a rest period and is thus considered a work time. So, if less than 20 minutes yung break mo, compensated yun dapat. Note, employee must be completely relieved from duty, otherwise it is compensable as hours work. So, mealtime is not compensable except in cases where the lunch period or mealtime is predominantly spent for the employer's benefit. Kung halimbawa, yung lunchtime mo, doon naman na dapat bayad yun. No? Kung na-exploit siya para sa employer's benefit. Employees may request that their meal period be shortened so that they can leave work earlier that the previously established schedule. Halimbawa, pwedeng mapaiksi, siguro 40 minutes, at least hindi less than 20 minutes para hindi siya bayad. Siguro 40 minutes para kasama yung travel time. Okay, so pwede yung baguhin ni employer. Requisite ng meal period na to, the employee must voluntarily agree dito. No diminution whatsoever in the salary and other fringe benefits. Okay, walang other existing before that could be diminished. Work does not involve strenuous physical exertion, and they are provided with adequate coffee breaks. And the value of benefits, kung hindi naman baka sobrang hirap yung trabaho tapos walang break, no? The value of benefits is equal with the compensation due them for the shortened meal period. Overtime pay will become due and demandable after the new time schedule. So, kung merong mga overlook dito, kailangan merong overtime pay. The arrangement is of temporary duration. Okay, night shift differential. Ang night shift, dapat every time na magtrabaho ka, kasi ganito yun eh. Halimbawa, let's say na lang ganito. Yung sweldo mo, let's say 100 para mabilis natin makompute. Yung sweldo mo, 100 pesos per hour. Therefore, 800 pesos ang 8 hours. Kunyari ha, yun ang minimum wage. Kunyari, 800 pesos per 8 hours. Just for the sake of ease of computation. Ang 10% ng 100 is 10 pesos. Okay? If nag-extend ka, okay, ng 10 p.m., halimbawa yung trabaho mo is 2 p.m., 2 to 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 8 hours. 2 to 10 yung trabaho mo. Then, nag-extend ka up to 12 p.m. Dapat, meron kang night differential na additional 10% of your regular wage. If 100 pesos ka per hour, plus 10 pesos. So, 110 ka dapat. So, plus 2 hours, 220 dapat yung additional na babayad sa'yo for the night differential. Okay? That is from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. If work done between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. is overtime work. When the 10% night shift differential should be based on his overtime rate. It serves as inducement of employment. Kumbaga, ano na kasi ito eh, in-induce ka na para magustuhan mo na magtrabaho, no? Ng additional. So, iba yung night differential, iba rin yung overtime pay. So, kung may overtime ka, may night differential ka pa kung between that hours. Ganun yung additional nun. Ang overtime pay naman, ito yung additional compensation for working more than 8 hours. Meaning, 30% of 130% if on special holiday rest day, 1.25% of regular wage if done on a regular work day, 2.30% of 150% if special holiday, and rest day of 3.30% at 200% if on a regular holiday. Of course, yung base nito, basta 30% siya. No? Pero yung basis nito is your daily pay dapat sa time na meron ka ding holiday pay. Sa time din na meron kang rest day pay. Okay, na dapat rest day mo, pero nagtrabaho ka, so additional compensation naman, additional percentage naman. Same lang din yan doon sa nag-overtime ka, between 10 to 6 pa. So, overtime na, night differential pa. Tapos, kung yung overtime mo, at saka yung night differential mo, nangyari sa panahon ng regular holiday, okay, that will be 3.30% of your 200% of that regular holiday pay. So, ganyan yan. Okay. Compressed work week. Okay, malapit tayo matapos. May compressed work week tayo. Ibig sabihin, wala nang pambayad ng gobyerno o wala nang pambayad yung amo mo. Kinompress niya yung work week mo. Halimbawa, ang usapan niyo, meron kang 18 hours per hindi. Sabihin natin, per day mo is 450 pesos per day. Tapos, nag-compressed work week kayo, meaning flexible work arrangement, where yung standard number of weekly working hours is maintained, but spread over fewer days than the usual 5 or 6 day work week. So, voluntary to. So, on the part of the worker. Okay? Allowable naman to, depende kung papayag yung worker. There will be no diminution of weekly or monthly take-home pay and fringe benefits. Hindi yun babawasan, hindi diminish. The value of the benefit will accrue to the employee under the proposed schedule is more than or at least commensurate with 1 hour overtime pay that is due them during weekdays based on the employee's quantification. The 1 hour overtime pay will become due and payable if they are made or permitted to work on a day not scheduled for work on compressed work week, or the work does not involve strenuous physical exertion and of employees must have adequate rest and arrangement is of temporary duration. Okay. This happens actually usually kapag nagtitipid si employer. Halimbawa, instead of working 6 days for 8 hours per day, you could work 4 days na katag 12 hours. So, if the employer merong daily meal allowance sa'yo, daily transportation, so makakatipid siya. Makakatipid din siya in terms of kuryente, kasi unti lang yung days na nandun ka sa office. Okay, so yun, ganun. Another thing is our regular wage. So, this includes the cash wage only without deduction on account of facilities provided by the employers. Okay. So, the right to, we also have, yun yung wage, no, definition. Right to a weekly rest day, okay, this is one of your rights. Employees should be provided with a rest day of not less than 24 hours consecutive, of not less than 24 consecutive hours after 6 consecutive normal days. So, dapat ay at least 1 day. If ever na, yung mga entitled pa rin siya sa rest day. If ever na gusto mo siyang kunin in that rest day, dapat merong compensation na additional na pumayag ka. So, employers should be provided a rest period of not less than 24 consecutive. No? Employer shall schedule the weekly rest day of his employees subject to collective bargaining agreement. So, pwede kayong mag-agree dito. However, the employer shall respect the preference of employees as to their weekly rest day when such preference is based on religious ground. Ayan. But when such preference will prejudice the operations of the undertaking and the employer cannot normally resort to other remedial measures, the employer may so schedule the weekly rest day that meets the employee's choice for at least 2 days a month. At least may 2 days a month. Kung hindi kayo magkasundo or may epektuhan si employer. So, in case of actual impending of emergencies caused by serious accidents, so ano itong mga ito? Ito yung mga employer may require work sa rest day. Kasi halimbawa, merong mga serious accidents na hindi maiwasan. Or if ever na may urgent work be performed in the machinery, equipment, na ma-avoid ang mga loss or magkakaproblema kung hindi yan pumasok. If ever may abnormal pressure of work due to special circumstances, pero hindi pwedeng lagi na kumbaga kasama na siya sa schedule na walang day off. Prevent serious loss of perishable goods, yung mga ganitong mga situations. Nature of work requires continuous operations for 7 days a week. Possible na mag-require siya na may pasok ng rest day, pero dapat may rest day. Kumbaga, example, mga courier, mga Flash Express, JNT, o JNT na lang. Meron silang rest day, pero may time na mag-require talaga na dapat pumasok ka. So, pag pumasok ka, may additional pay sa mga regular. So, if that's the case, they may work straight in one month because the nature of work requires continuous operation. Kasi pag hindi, nagpabigay sa operation, magkakaroon ng penalty yung branch. Okay? So, may rest day pa rin, pero entitled si employee for a certain benefits or pay na over doon sa regular pay. Work is necessary to avail of favorable weather or environmental conditions where performance or quality of work depends upon them. Okay, so another thing is compensation for rest day sa time ng Sunday or holiday. Meron din yan plus ating article. So this article does not prohibit the stipulation in the CBA for higher benefits. So special holidays All Saints Day, November 12. Last day of the year, December 31, special holidays to. And all other days declared by the law or ordinances to be a special holiday or non-working holiday. So, this article does not prohibit the stipulation doon sa ating collective bargaining agreement. So, remember the acronym CBA for Collective Bargaining Agreement. And worked, so note, regular wage plus 50% premium pay, not work. No premium pay. Okay? So, if you work sa special holiday, meron ka 30% na premium pay. Okay? So, dapat yun yung pay nyo. Right ninyo as an employee. If there is an employer-employee relationship. Additional compensation for work on a rest day, Sunday or holiday. Work on a scheduled rest day, 30% of the regular wage. No regular work a day, a rest day, 30% pa rin. On Sundays and holidays, work special days, 30% of regular day, 50% of the regular wage. Ang holiday that works calls on scheduled rest day. Yan. Holiday pay. This is a day's pay given by law to an employee even if he does not work on a regular holiday. It is limited to the 10 regular holidays listed by the law. Okay? Employees should not have been absent without pay on the working day preceding the regular holiday. So, dapat, hindi absent. No? Should not have been absent without pay on the working day. Employees should not have been absent without pay on the working day preceding the regular holiday. Refers to the regular holidays, special holidays are taken. So, dapat hindi absent a day before the holiday para magkaroon ka ng holiday pay. These are the regular holidays, January 1. Monday, Thursday, movable day. These are the 10, ha? Regular holidays. Movable date yan. Araw ng Kagitingan, April 9, Labor Day, May 1, Independence Day, June 12, National Heroes Day. Okay, November 30, December 30. Ayan. Compensable whether work or unwork. Ayan. So, dapat may compensation sila whether work or unwork. So, pag nag-work sila, additional na naman ng premium pay. 200% ba to? Double yan. Yan yung sabi ko. 200% of the basic wage provided he works on that day and was present on leave with pay on the preceding work day. If on leave without pay, rate still applies. If leave is authorized. 400% if he works as per Dole Memo if there are 2 regular holidays in one day. Example, April 9 and Good Friday. Provided the employee worked on the day prior to the regular holiday or on leave with pay or on authorized absence. If there are 2 succeeding holidays, Monday, Thursday, and Good Friday, the employee must be present the day before the scheduled regular holiday to be entitled to the compensation to both otherwise. So, dapat present, no? Nung preceding day. Kung Wednesday, yung holiday, dapat nung Tuesday, present ka. He must work on the first holiday to be entitled on the holiday pay on the second regular holiday. Kung succeeding. Wage. Ito naman yung tawag dun sa remuneration on earnings, however designated, capable of being expressed in terms of money, whether fixed or ascertained on a time, tax, fees, or commission basis or other methods calculating the same. So, this is by definition. Ano yung pinagkaiba ng wage at salary? Okay, yung fair day's wage for a fair day's labor, if there is no work performed by the employee, there can be no wage or pay unless the laborer was able or willing or ready to work but was prevented by the management or was illegally locked out or suspended or dismissed. Pero, in generally, no work, no pay, no? Wage, compensable for manual labor, not subject to execution. Pero pag salary denotes higher degree of employment. This is subject to the execution of GAA or CA. Okay. Dito na part, dito kasi, itong wage, it's simple as yan yung natatanggap mo, pero wala kayong employer-employer relationship. Usually, ginagamit ko sa term na may contract kayo, pero wala kayong employer-employer relationship. Pero usually, sa salary kasi, higher degree ng employment yung meron. Meaning, subject kayo sa execution ng GAA or the General Appropriations na General Appropriation Act at under siya sa Commonwealth Act, which is the judicial body na in charge dun sa decision making. Yung General Appropriations Act, ito kasi yung national law in terms of the budget, no? National budget sa Philippines. So, when salary is used, usually, this denotes higher degree ng employment. Usually, ito yung ginagamit kapag meron talagang employer-employee relationship. Okay? Which is, Okay. Yung 13-month pay naman, ito yung matatanggap, additional income based on the wage required by Presidential Decree 851, which is equivalent sa 1/12 ng total basic salary na natanggap mo sa buong taon. So, kung madami kang days na pinasok, hindi ka absent, 1/12 noong kabuuan yun yung matatanggap mo. This may be given anytime but not later than December 24. Okay. Meron kang maternity leave na benefit under the SSS law. A female member who needs not be legally married, who has paid for at least 3 months contributions in the 12-month period immediately preceding the semester of her childbirth or miscarriage shall be paid a daily maternity benefit equivalent to the 100% of her average daily salary credit for 60 days or 70 days in case of cesarean delivery. Tapos, moreover, sa Article 133, Section B, subsist, the maternity leave then, so meron ka din maternity leave shall be extended without pay on account of illness medically certified to arise out of pregnancy. So, pwede kang mag-leave. Pero, without pay siya. Okay? Okay. So, that will be for the coverage. So, hindi ko na sinama yung iba, mga in-depth. At least yung mga basic ng labor code na andito. So, do you have any questions? So, as for that, you may contact me. And thank you so much for listening. I hope you really listened. Kasi merong mga discuss dito na wala din sa PowerPoint. Just like the mga acronyms and yung mga agencies. No? I hope natandaan nyo. Okay, sige. So much for that. Thank you so much for your time. I hope na may natutunan kayo. So that will be all for today. And thank you so much. Bye-bye!